Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here. This is your planning outlook updated on Tuesday the 9th of October. Now, a generally unsettled outlook. Wednesday is the best day of the week for staying dry generally. Some further rain spreading back in for Thursday. Stormy conditions widely on the mountains for Friday. And heading into the weekend, some further heavy falls of rain are possible. Now this chart shows total rainfall basically through until early next week, and don't worry about trying to see any numbers. The general trends is what we can take from this, and across most western mountains some very wet conditions at times. If anything, the focus of the heaviest rain more from southwest Scotland, Dumfries and Galloway into the lakes and Wales, with some slow moving fronts targeting these areas possibly through into the weekend. There will be some further rain in the west and northwest Highlands, maybe not quite as much as we've just seen this week. Bear in mind it's very wet underfoot and there's some flooding in this part of the world, and that'll last for the next few days at least. Just keep an eye on the details then for the locations and days where the rain will be at its heaviest. Let's take you through the charts then and show you the day-by-day story. Here's Wednesday. We've got the flow from the south-southeast, so a very mild, warm day in most areas. What's left of a front from previous days finally moving to the north of Scotland. The dregs of low cloud and early spots of rain on that will fade. It may well be that the southeastern Highlands, with the fetch coming in off the North Sea, just hangs on to low cloud with the moisture in the air here. Otherwise, most cloud breaking and the hills extensively clearing. Low pressure, though, with fronts over the Atlantic, is ready to sweep back in, and notice the close proximity of the isobars. It's a windy day, despite being dry and fairly sunny. Next cold front then moves in through into Thursday, and a few showers may run in ahead of this. The general message of deteriorating from the southwest as time goes on. Some heavy falls developing across Wales, the lakes, southwest Scotland, I think, as the day progresses. Gusty winds again up to gale force on the hills pretty widely. Now things are moving quickly Thursday night into Friday. A deep area of low pressure passes to the northwest of the British Isles with widespread gales wrapped around it. Stormy conditions extensively across the mountains and across the Scottish Highlands. Winds up to 100 miles per hour or more, at least in gusts, and 80-90 miles per hour possible for a time at least across the high tops in England and Wales. The worst may just ease down a bit as the day goes on. Heavy rain will sweep northeastwards to most areas, followed by showers in Scotland. Cloud base will vary quite markedly through the day. But for England and Wales, possibly the south-southwest of Scotland too, a trailing front just feeds back in as the next low moves in, and on this wave feature, some heavy and prolonged falls of rain may return, at least by Friday evening, to parts of Wales and the Lake District, and continuing northwards again into Scotland. Now, low confidence of details then through into Saturday. Basically, those fronts that were trying to come back in again from the south late Friday may still be around. This chart maybe looks rather optimistic in terms of not showing too much rain. Some areas may escape, but one or two forecast models keep western mountains rather wet as those fronts trail up from the south. So just be aware of changing details for Saturday. Expect rain to be around at least part of the day. So it's a long trailing conveyor belt of moisture coming up from the south-southwest. This is the situation late Friday. The low pressure system just at the bottom of that train is what is still currently Hurricane Leslie. It'll fade and drift towards the Canaries as we head into the weekend, but it's the tropical moisture that's still being fed partly by that system that feeds across us with that southwesterly flow through the weekend, with various ripples on fronts and areas of low pressure passing through. Now it's fairly mild over these next few days, but somewhat cooler air gets fed in from the Atlantic as we go through the weekend, so expect temperatures to drop possibly as we go through into Sunday pretty widely. And next week I think we'll see temperatures up and down somewhat, not quite as warm as the middle of this week. Some mild days, but some cooler days too, where air is drawn around more from the North Atlantic. A changeable west to southwesterly regime I think will dominate, with no 2 days exactly the same. Some rain or showers frequent on western mountains. Driest, brightest conditions away across more eastern regions, with the highest cloud bases, say the Pennines, East Wales, the Cairngorms, always doing the best, with the lowest cloud plaguing the western mountains throughout. And no immediate signs of changes, such that generally mixed southwesterly regime for much of that week ahead. So stay up to date with the forecast as you head into the weekend. Quite an active pattern, and things may change slightly before we get there. Expect there to be some further heavy rain and gales though, so be on the watch out for flooding across many of the mountain regions. Thanks for watching this video today. Bye for now.